Welcome to the Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts. The fantasy series that proves surviving teenagehood is nothing compared to surviving deadly magical trials, underground rebellions, and your own feelings. If you're into stories where the government is shady, love interests are morally questionable, and every 5 pages you're screaming, "Oh no, they did not," then friend, you are exactly where you need to be. The trilogy takes you on a wild ride, from brutal fight-to-the-death tournaments, aka Powerless, to epic desert escapes and political backstabbing, aka Reckless, to a revolution that could burn the whole world down, aka Fearless. And trust me, every time you think things can't get worse for these characters, Lauren Roberts giggles somewhere and proves you wrong. All right, meet Paedyn Gray, a teenage girl who has exactly 0 magical powers in a world where being powerless is basically the same as walking around with a "please murder me" sign taped to your back. The story kicks off in Ilya, a kingdom still recovering from a massive plague that gave some survivors supernatural powers and left others, like Paedyn, completely ordinary. But hey, no pressure. It's not like the elites, the people with powers, are actively hunting down people like her or anything, except they are. Paedyn survives by pretending to be a mildly powerful psychic. She's street smart, sharp with a dagger, and excellent at people watching. Basically, a walking, talking, fake it till you make it poster child. Her best friend Adina is the only one who knows her secret. Everyone else thinks she's a low-level elite, just weird and mysterious enough to not get stabbed immediately. Enter Kai, the second-born prince of Ilya. He's basically if you combined a secret assassin, a charming rogue, and a sad boy with daddy issues into one extremely handsome package. Kai can copy other people's powers just by touching them, which sounds super cool until you realize he's been trained since birth to use that skill to murder anyone who steps out of line. Paedyn and Kai's paths cross when she accidentally pickpockets him in the slums. Awkward. She thinks he's just another rich jerk. He's immediately suspicious, but also a little bit enchanted. Neither of them expects to ever see the other again. Spoiler, they definitely will. Later that day, Kai is attacked by resistance fighters, the underground movement trying to overthrow the monarchy, and guess who ends up saving his royal butt? That's right, our dagger queen, Paedyn. Kai notices something odd. He can't sense her power at all. Red flag? Oh, for sure. But Paedyn's quick thinking and general badassery gets her out of immediate danger. Saving Kai's life makes her famous overnight in the slums. Suddenly, Paedyn is selected to compete in the Purging Trials, the kingdom's favorite televised murder fest disguised as a noble competition. Think the Hunger Games, but add more political propaganda and less parental supervision. The trials are brutal. Contestants are forced to battle for survival across different deadly challenges. Trial 1, survive a forest free-for-all and steal as many armbands as possible. Kai and Paedyn form a tentative alliance, basically one accidental brush of hands away from kissing or stabbing each other at all times. Trial 2, race up a mountain in teams. Naturally, Kai and Paedyn end up tangled in another life-or-death situation, and in some very intense eye contact. Trial 3, navigate a giant enchanted maze where all your worst nightmares come to life. Bonus horror, Adina, Paedyn's best friend, gets captured and used as bait. Heartbreaking doesn't even cover it. Meanwhile, the king, who is an absolute psycho, starts to suspect Paedyn isn't who she says she is. He's not wrong. Things escalate fast, the king sets up a trap, Paedyn's secret is exposed to the worst possible audience, and her world comes crashing down in a shower of blood and betrayal. And just when you think it can't get any worse, oh, it can. Turns out the big shocking reveal isn't just that Paedyn isn't ordinary pretending to be elite, it's that Kai, yes, sad boy Prince Kai, is the one who killed her father years ago as part of his enforcer training. Cue internal screaming. Everything Paedyn thought she knew about her life, her father's death, her budding maybe kinda love for Kai, lies. All of it. During the final trial, chaos erupts. The resistance storms the castle. Blood is spilled, best friends die, lovers betray each other. political order collapses faster than my willpower in front of a slice of cheesecake. In a desperate and devastating finale, Paedyn kills the king herself. Kai, heartbroken and furious, lets her escape instead of killing her like he's supposed to. Kit, Kai's brother, becomes king and gives a grim new order: hunt Paedyn down and kill her. And just like that, Paedyn runs for her life, wounded, hunted, and betrayed by the boy she almost trusted. So, if you thought surviving the Purging Trials was hard, try surviving the betrayal of the only boy you ever loved. After the bloody chaos of Powerless, you'd think Paedyn would catch a break. Maybe a spa day, a nap, a snack. Nope. Reckless picks up just days after Paedyn flees the palace. She's a fugitive, and guess who's been assigned to hunt her down? That's right. Kai, royal enforcer, heartbreaker, and emotional train wreck. Talk about it's complicated. Paedyn escapes to a neighboring kingdom called Dor, where things are wildly different from Ilya. In Dor, nobody has supernatural powers. Shocking, right? The whole society runs on, actual effort and common sense, not magic and elitism. Naturally, Paedyn tries to blend in and rebuild her life by joining an underground fight ring, because of course she does. Meanwhile, Kai is under strict orders from his brother, King Kit, to bring Paedyn back, dead or alive. Preferably dead. And because Kai has all the emotional coping skills of a wounded feral cat, he throws himself into the hunt, chasing Paedyn across deserts, cities, and his own complicated feelings. When Kai finally finds Paedyn in Dor, she's in the middle of a no-holds-barred fistfight, and honestly, she's thriving. But Kai isn't just here to say hi. He's here to capture her. They fight. It's brutal. It's personal. It's loaded with enough romantic tension to short-circuit the entire kingdom's power grid. And even though Paedyn fights like hell, Kai corners her and does the absolute worst thing imaginable. He outs her as a fugitive in front of the entire crowd. Now Paedyn's got a price on her head, and every bounty hunter in Dor is out for blood. Thanks, Kai. But wait, there's more. The next day, while Kai is transporting Paedyn back to Ilya, her old resistance friends stage a rescue. These scrappy underdogs lead both Paedyn and Kai to a hidden community called the Partials, hybrids, born from elites and ordinaries who don't really fit anywhere. The Partials aren't super jazzed about having an actual prince/assassin in their camp, so they chain Kai and Paedyn together, literally, and lock them in a cell. Classic forced proximity trope. We love to see it. Chained together, trapped, and surrounded by enemies, Paedyn and Kai are forced to cooperate. This leads to a daring escape through a flooded sewer system where they save each other's lives more times than can possibly be healthy. Between the fighting, the running, and the not drowning, feelings, those pesky things, start creeping back in. They even share a tender, stolen moment under a grove of trees, kissing, confessions, all the stuff that makes you scream into a pillow. For a second, it feels like maybe, just maybe, they can forgive each other and move forward. Yeah, definitely not. Reality comes crashing back fast. Paedyn still has a kingdom that wants her head on a spike. Kai still has a brother who expects her delivered in chains. And neither of them can forget the blood between them, literal and metaphorical. But things get even messier when Paedyn digs up her dad's old journal, buried deep in her stuff like an emotional landmine. Inside, receipts. Turns out all the stuff the elites say about ordinaries, weak, dangerous, inferior. Yeah. That was less truth and more PR campaign written by a delusional cult leader with a god complex. Paedyn's father had been trying to expose the monarchy's corruption before he died. And guess who helped cover it all up? That's right, King Kit's bloodline. Armed with the truth, Paedyn and Kai decide to stop running. They make the bold and slightly suicidal decision to return to Ilya together, to uncover the full extent of the corruption and maybe, just maybe, start a real revolution. Normal couple stuff. Some people do brunch. These two do treason. When they return, they expect danger, betrayal, assassination attempts, and they get those in spades. But what Paedyn doesn't expect, a royal marriage proposal. Yep, Kit drops the bomb. In a surprise move to solidify political alliances and heal the kingdom, he offers Paedyn his hand in marriage. An ordinary queen would show the world that elites and ordinaries can unite. It's brilliant PR. It's also a total trap. Paedyn is given a choice: marry Kit and save the ordinaries, or refuse and watch the resistance and every powerless person she cares about be crushed under the elite's boot. She accepts, and just like that, Paedyn goes from wanted criminal to royal bride-to-be. Meanwhile, Kai is stuck standing to the side, heartbroken and helpless, watching the only girl he's ever loved be forced into a political marriage with his own brother. Yeah, totally normal, super healthy, no notes. So Paedyn is wearing a ring she never wanted, Kai is drowning in guilt and fury, and the future of Ilya is hanging by a thread. Running from the past is hard, but running from your own heart is like mission impossible. So you think getting engaged to a king would mean happily ever after, right? Wrong. So wrong. In Fearless, Paedyn is basically trapped in the world's worst fairy tale, wearing an engagement ring she can't take off, promised to a king she doesn't even like, and watched by a court that's one wrong move away from throwing tomatoes at her. Meanwhile, outside the castle walls, Ilya is crumbling faster than Kai's emotional stability at a family reunion. There's famine, rebellion, and about zero public support for the shiny new royal couple. But Paedyn didn't fight her whole life just to become a pretty pawn in Kit's crumbling game. This time she's not running. This time she's fighting back. Yes, let's go, Chaos Queen. Burn it all down. Behind the scenes, Paedyn is plotting. She reconnects with the resistance, builds secret alliances, and looks for ways to turn her forced marriage into a weapon against the crown. While everyone else is drinking poisoned wine and pretending everything's fine, Paedyn is out here building a rebellion like it's her side hustle. She's sneaking around with resistance members, making shady alliances, and gathering dirt like it's Black Friday and secrets are 90% off. Meanwhile, Kai is still hanging around as her royal bodyguard, still watching the love of his life marry his brother. It's basically emotional torture with a front row seat. Imagine your crush getting engaged to your sibling while you have to stand there holding their bouquet. Brutal. He's also busy digging up even worse skeletons. Turns out the monarchy lied about the plague, and the Purging Trials were a glorified execution system, which, like, duh. That was clear by day one when people started dying for sport. Honestly, at this point, if they told me water was wet, I'd double check. Long story short, the elites aren't chosen by destiny. They're just really good at murdering and gaslighting everyone who disagrees. Awesome, super healthy, definitely what you want in a government. The real key to blowing up this nightmare: the Sanctuary of Souls, an ancient magical hotspot that's basically the kingdom's nuclear launch button. Whoever controls it gets to decide the fate of Ilya. Kit wants to weaponize it, the resistance wants to free it, and Paedyn just wants to stay alive long enough to punch one more royal in the face. At the royal engagement ceremony, which is supposed to be all, "Aw, look at our unity," and instead feels like countdown to bloodbath, Paedyn and Kai finally snap. It's less happily ever after and more Game of Thrones wedding edition. The royal court is literally falling apart. Nobles are stabbing each other with letter openers, resistance fighters are kicking down golden doors, and somewhere in the chaos, someone's expensive crown gets used as a frisbee. It's absolute anarchy. And honestly, we love to see it. And right in the middle of the glittering dumpster fire, Paedyn faces her biggest choice yet. Sacrifice herself to free the kingdom, or sacrifice her heart and stick to the awful future queen plan and smiling pretty while the kingdom burns. Not exactly a "would you like fries with that" level of decision making. Obviously, she chooses chaos. Because the thing is, Paedyn doesn't need powers to win. She doesn't need fancy bloodlines or ancient artifacts. She just needs guts and stubbornness and a willingness to stab a dude if necessary. In a finale that's 90% adrenaline and 10% emotional damage, Paedyn and Kai team up like the world's most dysfunctional power couple. The monarchy crumbles harder than a badly baked cookie. The resistance rises from the ashes like the world's sassiest phoenix. And the people of Ilya finally get a shot at real freedom. Sure, it cost Paedyn everything she ever had, her home, her heart, and about 3 years off her life expectancy, and at least half her remaining sanity. But hey, small price to pay for ending a centuries-old dictatorship, right? Well, let's just say Paedyn didn't save the kingdom for glory. She did it because she was tired, annoyed, and just wanted a nap without getting stabbed. And honestly, if that's not inspirational, I don't know what is. Oh, and yes, Paedyn and Kai end up together. No thrones, no tiaras, just two emotionally damaged rebels trying to rebuild a kingdom and maybe get 5 minutes apiece. As for Kit, let's just say he's not king anymore and nobody's crying about it.